Hello, today I'm going to take you through 3 different assignments that are all interconnected. What you're going to be doing is a close reading on a New York Times article. The first step is to go to assignment number 1. So we'll click here. This is going to give you instructions more deeply. We'll go to the article in a minute, but the first thing that you want to notice is the annotation rubric, which is down here. And it guides you through how you need to annotate the article. So please review that. And what I'm asking you to do up here is you're going to read the article through one time. Just read it through. Try to get the understanding, the gist of things, the main idea, what's going on, who's involved, etc. So that's just your first time reading. The second time is when we're actually going to do some annotations, and you're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Now you are familiar with the article and you have an understanding of it to an extent. Now's the time to go deeper into it. So you can follow this guide. I have the article available to you here in Google Docs, or you can annotate it on paper. It's your choice. Use this as your guide. Highlight your key ideas that you see in yellow. Go through the article. See, this seems like a key idea. Let me highlight this here. Then anything that strikes you as interesting or descriptions, do that in blue. What confuses you, highlight that in pink. And then finally, find things that you don't understand, it keeps you questioning, highlight that in green. Then go back and make at least 3 comments about your highlights within the article. So let me show you an example of what I mean. Here is the actual article from the New York Times. I have it in Microsoft Word. You can use it in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. This is the title, Discrimination in Housing Against Non-Whites Persist Quietly, U.S. Studies Finds. You can even highlight that if you wanted to. So you can go and highlight the title, and you can pick the colors using the colors that we have pre-suggested. And you can say, well, what do you think? And over here, we can insert comments. So the title itself. So maybe while you're annotating it, you're not really exactly sure what the point of the article is. So you're going to insert a comment there. I also have another example where I highlighted it in the first paragraph. The first paragraph says, discrimination against Blacks, Hispanics, and Asians looking for housing persists in subtle forms, according to a new national study commissioned by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. Though less likely to face overt obstacles, like being refused an appointment to see a home, minority customers who were shown fewer available units than whites with similar qualifications, the study found. And I highlighted that in yellow because I thought that was an interesting idea. And then I made a comment. In the past, people knew they were being discriminated against, but now it's hard to prove. So that's an important point in the article. So you might want to also notice difficult words, and if you don't know what overt means, highlight that and then come back to it and insert another comment about what the meaning is. So your job, after you do the read-through once, is to come back again and do the read-through, marking up the text. Again, you can do this online, like I've just demonstrated, or you can do this on paper. Choice is yours. Now let's go to the second assignment. This is going to be using a double entry chart on this article. So let's click on our assignment here. After you have read and completed 2 readings of the Housing Discrimination Persists article and completed your first round of annotations, we're going to go even a little bit deeper and find specific areas to examine and discuss. And we're going to use the double entry journal chart to do that. Here's an example. Now, again, you have gone through the reading at least twice. This will be a third time. I know it's a little overkill, but trust me, you're going to become a great reader once you do this. So now, going back to the original article, we're going to start pulling out direct quotations that you feel are important, okay, or interesting. And we're going to copy and paste them here. And then, on the right-hand side, you're going to extend your response. And you're going to explain or comment or even have some questions. So, going back to what we were highlighting in the article, I copy and pasted the quotation. It says, though less likely to face overt obstacles like being refused an appointment to see a home, minority customers were shown fewer available units than whites with similar qualifications, the study found. Well, I already made some comments about that, and here I'm going to extend my comments a little bit further. This is subtle discrimination. People may think or believe they are being discriminated against, but this may be hard to prove. What can one do about this? And so your job is to continue with this close reading. Go back into the text, see what you have highlighted, see what comments you have made, take those quotations, paste them here, and extend your response, extend your questioning, extend your observations. So then we'll have a really deep reading of this article. But we're not done. One more thing to do. Now we're going to go back to assignment 3. Here is where you're really going to prove that you have a deep understanding of the article. There are 4 questions here, and all of them are asking you to go back to the text and find the answers within the text. I'm asking you to work in pairs for this one because it's probably going to be a really in-depth kind of assignment for you to do, and 2 heads thinking together is always a good idea. So now you have your individual annotations, you have your double entry journal, and now working with a partner you have these questions that are text dependent, and you're going to get together with all of your notes and you're going to answer these questions. For example, the first one asks, what forms of housing discrimination persist today? According to a recent study discussed in the article. You will have to go back into the article and find where they're talking about this. And secondly, how has housing discrimination changed since 1977? Again, the answers are within the article. What justifications do you think people use to defend and continue such practices? There's answers within the article. So it's not only just going to be your opinion, you're going back into the article and you're saying, this is what the article is saying. And so in that way, it shows that you have read deeply and that you have a real mastery over the reading. And you're going to continue that for a total of 4 questions, and of course submit it here. So hopefully this overview is giving you an idea of how you can take a text and you can really dig into it. And as we do this, we're practicing so many different skills. And the most important skills are we have an ability to read something which may be difficult, but that doesn't mean that we give up on it. We have an ability to look further and interact with the text. It's not just a one-way street. It's not the text talking to you or you just staring at the text. It's you actually interacting with the text. And the more you practice this, the better a reader you become. And we know that's always a good thing to have. Other skills also are the ability to find information and analyze that information. Are you going to use that in your life? You bet you will. Okay, so get started. Good luck. I'm looking forward to reading your stuff.